Hello everyone, Amanda here. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm here to share my latest hybrid journal. This is using the Ocean Spray collection, but remember you can follow my tutorials and use whatever papers you like. So there is step-by-step construction videos already online on YouTube for you to view. I will link the playlist in the description box below. There's also a free cutting guide, so everything's there. All you need to do is download the cutting guide and follow the tutorials. Don't forget, there's also a matching folio 8x8. Okay, this is also a totally free project with a free cutting guide, and all of the videos to construct it are on YouTube step by step. I will link this playlist. So this is the 8x8 folio and this is the hybrid journal. So let's have a look. So it's a chipboard cover. It's lovely and sturdy. Okay, we've done a beautiful decorated cover. I've made a little charm here just out of I'm not very good at charms. I need to work on my charms. A little glass bottle with a tiny little shell in, the word imagine, and to fit with our ocean theme, I've got a little seahorse. So on the front here, we've got these lovely embellishments. Now I have full laminated these. So I've not used a laminator, I've used sticky back plastic. It's cheaper and it's quite easy to use, and it just gives them a little bit of sturdiness so that you can use them as just cute little tucks. Okay, cute little things. I've done the same here, added some glitter, and we've got a small 3x3 photo mat. So this section here at the bottom is not a true pocket, it's a piece of paper that I've cut to size, and then I've just layered a 1-inch strip of cardstock underneath. Now we'll go through in quite a lot of detail in this journal because I don't do matting videos. Okay, matting and layering and decorating these, if I was to do videos it would take me far too long, and I do these for free. The cutting guides are free, the tutorials are free, it's all free. If I was to start doing matting videos, it would need to be a paid for class, just simply for the amount of hours that I would need to put in. Okay, so I'm going to go through carefully so you can see, you can pause the video, you can have a really good look where I've placed things. I've only used papers from the Ocean Spray collection if you're one of my followers that wants to make it. Okay, so what we've got here, hybrid journal. So it's folio elements, we've got a journal signature, then we've got a hinged full folio section, journal signature, and interactive elements on the back. Okay, so that's why it's a hybrid. It's a cross between a journal and a folio or mini album. Okay, so first section, let me make sure I'm in shot. So this is not on the cutting guide, this is just a small closure that I made out of cardstock. It's just, I just scored it 1/2 inch on one side and attached it before I added my paper layer. I've added a magnet under there and a magnet under there. I've used 2 fussy cuts to decorate, and I've added glossy accents to the words there and stickles there. So that's just that. So the whole idea is that this extends your memory keeping capacity. So if you like making journals but you want photos, or you know, you like making mini albums but you're interested in journaling, this is a really lovely combination, and they're fun to make. Okay, and you really do get, you know, a bang for your buck using your digital papers. Okay, so that opens like so. I've left this plain, you could put photo mats on, but I like the idea of this wavy sea-like paper, and then we've just got the blue, so it's like scrapbooking piecing. Okay, so I'm just thinking of the look of things as well. And then when we come here, I've done this strip here and I've just glued it there on 3 sides so that it's a little tuck. So I've just layered 2 banners. I've used one of the words from the kit. I think I fussy cut that out. I think it had a different background. One of the little seahorses there, and then just here I've shrunk some of the ephemera from the collection down to a page to make them smaller. These are the small tags shrunk down to a page. They come up teeny tiny. I've added a little charm and a little number tag there, and then I've put 2x2 photo mats there. So you'll cut your white 2x2, that represents the photo, and then you cut your mat 1/4 inch bigger on both sides. And I've strategically placed them so that when that's closed and that's closed, you can't see them, so you've got this blue. So just think about that if you're following along with what I've done. And then on this one here, I've just used some of the lovely paper. You can put photos on there, so you know, but I just thought, why not show off some of the paper? Then we've got a good combination between photo areas and showing off our lovely papers. Okay, I made a little tag there. This is one of the words. I've just glued it on two sides for a little tuck. And then this opens again, and we've got just a lovely large pocket. And again, you can see I've made good use of the papers here. So just get the digitals, you know, they're either in A4 or letter size. I don't have any to hand. I've got this misprint to hand. And what you do is you just home in on the image that you want and cut it to the size that you want. And sometimes I'll cut it and then I'll cut another 1/8 of an inch off there and another 1/8 of an inch off there to make sure that the image is central. Okay? It's all a little bit of like, it's like building a jigsaw, and that's why I love these. Look at these beautiful papers. And then, you know, just highlighted by some of the background paper. Don't overfill these parts with heaps of photos. One's enough, you know, you can put one on both sides. All right. Otherwise it'll get too bulky, because I've designed it so that none of these flaps have got those annoying little gussets, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch that sometimes you need to make sure you've got room for things. I've omitted those from everything and designed it carefully so you don't need those. So don't overfill them or it won't close nicely, okay? I just wanted to make the design real easy without loads of score marks. So here I've printed one of the pages out and I've used a slot punch, and that is this Stampin' Up! Slot punch, and I've totally and utterly gotten that idea from Paper Phenomenon, okay? Totally. Whenever I use a slot punch, I've always printed on lightweight cardstock. The rest of it is printed on my 120 GSM printer paper, and it is just perfect, okay? Little embellishments like this, lightweight cardstock. So we've got a little 3x3 and a 2x2 and then some mini ephemera, and that just slots in there. And all you do is you cut your page to size, and then this slot punch will go in so far. And if you go the whole way in, as far as it will go, so it's buttered right up against there, and then start punching, okay, and always have it in as far as you can, you'll get it in a straight line and you'll get a neat finish. Okay, took me a bit of trial and error to figure that one out. So then that foot closes again. All of this needs tucking away out of the way. Okay, and then that closes, and that closes. Now the journal elements, I've kept very minimal decorating in hybrid journals because you've got all of this interaction going on here. Okay, and we're doing loads of lovely decorating on here. Okay, we don't need to have it in the journal elements. I like my journal elements for journaling, for writing on. Then you can put your photos here and you can go to town with your decorating on these parts. Okay, so minimal decoration in a hybrid folio on the journal pages. We let the paper do the work, and we have lots of room for actual memory keeping. So here, very basic decorating. These little tag pockets are in the kit, and I've just used banners. Okay, you can cut a banner by hand. I've got a banner punch, makes it easier, but you can totally cut them by hand. All you need is 2 coordinating papers and have one shorter than the other, stacked one on top of the other. It is the easiest but most effective way to decorate anything. It looks lovely, okay? So you've got all little interesting things to pull out there, but you can do your writing there as well, okay? So a lot of these pages I have left plain. I've not inked the edges because my hand hurts at the moment from all the cutting. I've given you an awful lot of free information this month with the hybrid folio and the mini Albert 8x8 folio. So my hands are, I need a holiday. So then this little element here, now I did make this on a private video with my members over on Ko-fi, so there's no tutorial on this unless you remember. But it holds up to, it's got 13 pockets basically. It holds all sorts of little bits and bobs. So this is why we don't need to over embellish every page, because we can tuck things into little bits and bobs like this. And the joy of the Midori style binding is you can add and remove that if you want to. Okay, right, so we're letting the papers do the work, and even though we've got this folio element here, you can very easily write on there. Okay, it's not lumpy and bumper because everything's made out of paper. There's no bulky embellishments. Everything's pretty flat. The only bulky things are these eyelets. So again, you can see I've used just a simple banner there, and it just looks lovely because it just lifts this off of the page a little bit colour-wise. Okay, loads of plain journaling. Okay, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to love the ocean to love this collection. Okay, it's just a fun collection. You don't have to, you know, every theme doesn't have to necessarily resonate directly. You don't have to be going on a holiday to do a holiday collection. You don't have to love Christmas to do a Christmas collection. It is what I'm trying to say. So now we're on to this central folio element, which is placed on a hinge like a mini album page. Everything's there step by step in the tutorials playlist in the link below in the description box, along with the link to the papers. So this is magnetised. It opens up. Okay, little bumpers, photo mats, 4x6, and you can put a photo on there as well. Okay, lovely. Nice, clean, simple and flat. Nothing difficult. And then on the back, just simply put another photo mat. Your little embellishments, you glue very tentatively on the black border. Okay, just there and just there, so that you can still get behind there with your photos. So this section here is also on lightweight cardstock 200 GSM, as opposed to the rest, which is just my normal 120 GSM. And that's because we've done the cut around the design there to make a little tuck. So here's one of the embellishments, printed double-sided. You just glue it halfway and then it will slide on and off your little photo mat. That's 3x3 and that's 2x2. So when you're doing these little cutouts, what you do is you get your knife and your craft mat and you very carefully go around. Now, it's quite forgiving. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Just try and get it all done in one fell swoop by moving your card as you cut. Make sure that your craft nice and sharp. Okay, watch your fingers. And then what you do is you will glue that, okay, where the cut away is. So this is the image where the cut away part is. Make sure you glue all that down flat. Plenty of glue on here. Then glue the edges, and then you just glue down there and along there. You don't glue in this centre bit, so then you can get your photos in. Okay, like I say, lightweight cardstock will make that just that little bit sturdier. So then we're on to here, just a simple pocket, slot punch again, a little card, little embellishment and a little word. Super simple, nothing difficult, same process as before regarding the gluing. Then I made this, it's just a tag shaped pocket with a window, and I've used transparency sheet. In old language, it's overhead projector sheet. They used to put music on it when I was at school, and they'd put it on the overhead projector and shine it on the wall so we could all sing along to the words. It's a little bit thinner than acetate, okay, and you can print on it as well. Photo mat, that's a 4x4, okay. I don't have a specific tutorial on that. It was just something that I was just trying out. But you know, you can have a play. You make pockets how you make pockets. It's very simple, and then, you know, you can just turn them into shapes. Just watch you don't cut your finger like I did. So here we've got another lovely photo mat. It's not magnetised because I didn't feel the need. And there we've got a lovely, lovely layout. So again, just home in on the images that you like. This is like a coral reef that runs along the bottom of one of my pages. Then mix it up with some different size photos. That's a 3x4 and that's a 4x4. Okay, and how you arrange them and then put your papers, it can look really cool. And then here, I think that looks like a 5x4 maybe. Okay, strip of paper there, just glued on 3 sides, so I've not glued the strip on at the top. And then you can just tuck your little bits and bobs in there, and we've got a little sailor's hat there as well, okay, which I've just glued on the bottom. All right, so that closes. Now here's the centre part where the whole thing attaches to the binding flap, and so you've got a big pocket in the middle there, and I just made a little folio. Now I don't have a cut, this isn't on the cutting guide, so I'm going to give you the measurement for this, and it will fit in your pocket. Okay, so this measures, so you want your paper to 7 3/4, okay, by 11, and then I've scored it at 5 1/4, I think. yeah, 5 1/4, so that you could put that's a 5 by 7. And that makes the front page shorter than the back page. So then you can use your envelope punch board or your tab punch boards or whatever to create those little tabs. Okay, and then that will slide in. You don't want it any bigger than that because you don't want it protruding too far out of that pocket, because you want everything to sit neatly within the confines of your cover. The whole idea of book covers is to protect your book. You don't want anything protruding, okay? Otherwise, they're going to get beat up. All right, so then that turns and we have this section here. Let me make sure I'm fully in shot, okay, because I can't always see. So we've got a little photo mat here, that's 3 by 4. We've got a strip belly band, okay, just glued on there. Now, in the cutting guide, this is shorter, okay, and you centralise it. I extended mine and made it the same height as this pocket. So if you're following the tutorial, I made this bigger. I just thought it looked nicer in hindsight once the paper was on. So that slots under there. You just gently lift that fussy cut to open that flap and you've got photo mats in there. All right. I love making these. They take me a while trying to figure out how to... The design part takes me the longest. But I get a lot more satisfaction out of these than just making a standard journal. I just think they're fab. Okay, slot punch again, okay? So, again, I've gone in from the top, I've gone down as far as I can, and then I've punched. So, again, this is lightweight cardstock. So, you glue all of that section so it's down really flat. And then here, and the bottom. Now, this one's even more complicated because what I did was I did this fussy cut bit first. So, I got my paper and I just really cut more or less straight. I haven't gone in and out of every spoke of that railing there. I've just gone straight. So I did that first. Okay, so this is lightweight cardstock. Then I went to the top and punched that. So this is glued here and it's glued down here. There's no glue in this section. And then where this lifts up, you make sure that all of that where you've cut away is glued down really flat so that it doesn't catch. Okay, and then you glue in here, here and here. Okay, I've added one of the little words there, and this is a double-sided embellishment. You just glue it halfway and then it will slide on or off, and it's just fun. Just fun. Okay, and these are little 2 by 2s. I think that's a 3 by 4. Then that opens that way, and we've got another fun kind of scrapbooky looking layout with some offcuts. Just use up your scraps, and then I added this embellishment and just make sure that it's not glued onto where the photo is going to go. So the glue's like there and there so that you can still slip your photo behind. Okay, so then the second signature, very similar. I just did this with my members again. I gave them a tutorial on this, which is, it slides up and then it opens. I don't think it's all going to fit on in shot, but it slides up. Just like, see the turtle moving up and down. You know, you can move it with the turtle. It's just a little bit of fun. So that's what we did over on the members site and the other one that I showed you. The rest is more or less plain. So another tag with just a single banner going the other way. And I just think they look lovely. Same, we've got a double tag, but we're going that way now this time. So very minimal embellishment in the journal sections. Don't forget, if it feels like it's too bulky, it's on Medora, it's on elastics. Take some pages out or add some pages, do what you like. This section here, I've got one of my little fussy cuts, and I backed that on acetate. I was trying different ways this month of how to make my fussy cuts stronger. So this one's glued onto acetate and then cut around. The ones on the front, which is going to be my favourite way, I've used the sticky back plastic, okay, that you used to cover your exercise books with at school, okay, and I've covered it both sides and then fussy cut it out, okay. I might have to do a video on that. So here, beautiful papers, but you can put a 6 by 4 photo there, okay. That lifts up, we've got a photo there. And I've used the decorative paper. Now, because this Mr. Fish is here, you can't see how I've cut this paper, but I was trying a new idea that I'd seen where you kind of cut it at an angle And it worked out really nice. So I'll do that again on a larger scale on the next one, or on one of my folios, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, photo mats, open, couple of photo mats, and this is also a belly band. Okay, I should have made one with the tabs, but I'm running out of time, so I've got so many projects on the go. 5x7. Okay, so you could make that a little bit larger. Add maybe, what do you need to make a tab? 3/4 of an inch. Add maybe 3/4 of an inch to here, and then put a tab on the side. It will still fit. Okay, and then your tab would be just peeking, and you'd be able to grab it quicker. But I ran out of time. So there you go. It's absolutely lovely. Okay, and it's still, even with all of that, it's still not a gator mouth. Okay, when it lays flat like that, the cover's not like that. It's nice and flat. Okay, so I've lost my fish. Get in there, Nemo. Flipping heck. So with that and this, those are fantastic projects to have in your crafty arsenal. Give them a try. They are very, very simple to make. Once you've made one, you won't be able to stop. Okay, so that's that's the ocean spray finished. And now I need to get on with, we've got Winter Whispers and Traditional Christmas, all to get done before the end of December. So keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be lots more inspiration coming. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.